Hello, Miraculously Awesome Squad, aka MLB fam. We are going to be talking about the episode The Dark Castle. But before we get into all of that, please hit that awesome like, that awesome subscribe. Please comment. I love comments. And share this video. Let's roll that awesome intro, please.
No, thank you for everything you do. Your mission is such a hard one. I can't make you do this anymore, Alex. Becoming Bunnix again, living away from your friends, just because I couldn't secure the Butterfly Miraculous. This isn't fair. It's my mistake, not yours.
Okay, you can keep the Rabbit Miraculous, but in exchange you give me the Ladybug.
Huh? But I'm Ladybug.
And I am Bunnix.
And the best one there is. Happy birthday, Bunnix.
What? Clockwise.
So we start off the episode knowing that it is Alex's birthday. Happy birthday to her. And we have Marinette where she's kind of feeling kind of bad because she can't, celebrate her birthday with her family. We're talking about Alex because she is guarding the Rabbit Miraculous in the burrow. So Marinette is basically trying to find a way to reach Alex. And while doing that, she's actually trying to make a video for Alex so she can see it on her birthday, which is really nice and really cool. So they tried to record the video at the Louvre Museum. And in doing so, we see Mr. Dagencourt, and he doesn't basically like the fact that the Louvre is built on that piece of land, that piece of property, because it's supposed to be like historic, and he's just not having it. He don't like it, and he's basically being a Karen, in my opinion, and just nitpicking like something that doesn't really matter to other people but him. And he's making a big fuss, to Alex's dad, who is like a director over the Louvre Museum. And this part was actually kind of weird to me because is it just me or was Mr. Dagencourt their fencing teacher and they're acting like they actually don't know Mr. Dagencourt, which I thought was really weird. It's like, wasn't that Adrien / Kagami's teacher and also Marinette's fencing teacher? It's like, I kind of don't understand why we didn't go back and explain it, because I promise they were acting like they didn't know him at all, which I thought was really weird. Because if we go back and look at the episode where they introduced Kagami sometime, I think in seasons either 2 or 3. And I just thought it was really weird how they kind of made it where they were strangers. The kids didn't know him. He was like, I'm tending to these young people, basically teens. And all of a sudden they just, I guess, supposed to have amnesia and not know him. It's like, that's your former teacher. So that idea basically didn't work out. Marinette goes home and she's like, oh my goodness, I need an idea to reach Alex because it's her birthday and we want to celebrate her and let her know that she's awesome and that we love her. And of course, we get this little burrow circle and it's herself from the future to give her this great and wonderful idea, which is to go into the burrow and have it where she transforms into the Bunny Miraculous and guards the burrow while Alex actually gets to go out and celebrate her birthday with her friends and family, minus Marinette, basically. And, it was like a good idea. And it was awesome because Alex did get to go out and celebrate. She's been in the burrow for a long time and it was a wonderful idea. And in doing so, Marinette's in the burrow and she's guarding it for right now. And she also, in doing so as well, she has to give herself the idea again because of the time loop thing. And it turns out that, Alex is over there. They're having a good time and things just start to go not as planned. They're just going terribly wrong. There's this one time where they have the cake and it gets pooped on, which is really crazy. And then there's this other time where the cake actually ends up being dropped and it's just a lot. It ends up going on her brother, Jaleel. It ends up going everywhere and there's just a lot going on. And of course, Bunny Bug, now transformed Ladybug and the Bunny Miraculous together, she is changing, everything that's going wrong. And she's like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's good. But then there was this instance where she moved the pudding so that the cake couldn't be dropped, and it ends up being where the world ends because she changed it. And therefore, she had to change it back because the cake needed to be dropped in order, for things to go back to being balancing. Because it's like, okay, do we want the world to end or do we want Alex to have a perfect cake? So she's like, okay, I'm not touching time anymore. Also, there was this funny scene while she's in the burrow and they're like, okay, Aglaé points out that Marinette is not at the party. So this is where people are saying that Aglaé definitely is like not debunking the theories that she's Lila. I am kind of going to go a different approach on that. I don't think that Aglaé is Lila, but I kind of do think that Aglaé could be maybe possibly working with Lila just because at the end of the episode, Illust Traitor, where we have Lila making this statement saying, I'm nowhere, I'm everywhere. Honestly, I do think that Lila has this little team that we kind of don't really know about, but she does have one. I do think she has accomplices where we don't technically know them. Even at the episode of Sleeping Siren, we see Ray and his gang. We also see this mysterious figure who looks like a female who could be maybe Aglaé at the end that we saw talking to Ray and his gang. I do think that Aglaé is a part of this. I am not exempting her from being evil, but I don't think that she's Lila. I just think that she's a help to Lila in order for her to do her evil stuff. So we have this scene where Aglaé is pointing out that Marinette is not there. And I mean, there's a perfectly good reason for that. And of course, now it alarms Adrien. And he's like, where is my girlfriend? Where is Marinette? And he's like, yeah, I better go, check on her, see if she's all right. And of course, Alia has to step in and be like, oh no, Marinette, she's sick, she can't come here. And he's like, oh, I'll just bring her something, to help her feel better, and maybe join her. And she's like, oh, no. She's contagious. I just thought that part was so funny. And then Adrien leaves this cute little voicemail to Marinette and she almost blows her cover basically by trying to come out of the burrow and kiss Adrien on the cheek. Girl, you're not supposed to be seen right now. Why would you do that? To the point where she even points it out and she's like, what am I doing? Girl, really? That was one of the most Marinette moments I think we could ever see in this season. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny in that scene. So then Marinette looks through the burrow again and sees that kind of dark blade. The episode, I think it was called Dark Blade in season, I think around 4. And yeah, she's seeing that Paris is gloomy, dark, and somebody's obviously been akumatized. And she's like, what is going on? So then she has to go get herself from the future and then have to get her own help and transform with the Bunny Miraculous and stay in the burrow while her other self goes out and fights as Ladybug, because somebody has to stay in the burrow. Guys, this Rabbit Miraculous is dangerous. If it's in the hands of the wrong person, if they have the Miraculous of Time, it's over. It's in game. We thought it's just Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous that was bad to make the wish. But honestly, this is why Alex has to stay in the burrow. If she leaves the burrow and her Miraculous gets taken, that's game over. We've seen what Gabriel did with the Rabbit Miraculous, and it was just really, really bad, where he just kept swapping in and out of time, and it was just doing all sorts of horrible things. So yes, her Miraculous is definitely one of probably the most important Miraculouses in this show, to be honest, because it's a whole chain effect, which is why she keeps constantly reminding us that you cannot change 1 ounce of time, because if you do, it throws everything off and all sorts of chaos will basically just happen. So yeah, Mr. Dagencourt, he is akumatized because he still doesn't like the Louvre and the spot it's in and its historical value, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And yeah, Ladybug and Cat Noir, they have to go and they have to fight this akumatized villain. Now, at first, you can't really see it because he's going through Ladybug and Cat Noir. They're going through this little tunnel in the building and it looks kind of normal. But then as he starts talking about historical value and things like that, then they're like, okay, we're kind of seeing what's going on. But then also, he's this huge building. Let me just tell you, the animation for this episode was insane. I love the way they actually animated this villain. I think it's one of the best animated villains we've seen so far in season 6, just because he looks like a Senti monster and he's actually not a Senti monster. Like, this is just totally crazy to me. The fact that he is the building itself without actually it being an amok in an object is really crazy to do. It's kind of giving, like Glaciator, but in another kind of light, another way. So I think that's really interesting. I love the fact of how they were very detailed with this episode, and they kind of made it a game of like capture the flag, where they had to capture the flag. And of course, him being the building, he keeps changing the direction to like where the flag goes, and they're just jumping around and just going all over the place. And it was a fun watch to me, seeing them trying to get this flag and trying to fight him and find a way to do it. And then they point out, they're like, yeah, so we need Bunnix's help. And Ladybug's just like, no, we got this, we don't need Bunnix, cause Bunnix is at our party. Cat Noir does not know that, of course, only Ladybug knows Bunnix's identity. So therefore, Cat Noir can't actually know that information. That's like need to know basis information that he's not gonna know for right now. I'm kind of sad because I feel like Adrien/Cat Noir needs to know a little bit more than he does. This is why he gets mad at Ladybug for when she didn't tell him about like the superhero team, and like he even gets mad at her and says, why do you get to know their identities? But it's to protect her identity as well as theirs. So it's kind of like, I understand, but at the same time, he gets left in the dark a lot. Like, I feel like he could at least know that Alex is Bunnix. Like, he could know that too. I feel like he could keep a secret. But anyways, she's like, yeah, we don't need Bunnix for this job. And so they have to fight this statue, this akumatized villain themselves. And I just love the way that they actually made them give us like this Lady Noir moment. This is such old school Lady Noir moment. I am so happy that they're giving us more Lady Noir old school moments like we had in seasons 1 and seasons 2, where it was just them. Not saying I don't like that the other heroes are helping, but I love that they're bringing back the duo. It's called The Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, not the Miraculars. Like, no offense, I love the team. Like, no Miracular tea shade. Like, I'm not shading the team. But at the same time, the show is supposed to be centered around Marinette, Adrien, Ladybug/Cat Noir. And it's like, how did our main characters get sidelined? I don't understand how that happened. But yeah, I'm just glad that the writers are finally focusing in on giving us our main characters and putting them back at the front and not the back of the show. And I just think that this episode was just so good, so amazing. And they end up defeating, of course, this big giant rock statue. They end up defeating him. It wasn't easy, Ladybug finally uses her lucky charm. And of course, saving the day. As well as a little bit before that, we did have Jaleel, and when the cake was on him, he was really upset. He felt like he had to go home and change. So when Bunnybug changed, that happening, once it happened again, Jaleel got upset because she had to change it back to where it was, where Jaleel does get the cake dumped on him. And he ends up getting upset because he wants to give Alex this gift. And the gift was a photo of Jaleel being maybe 14 years old, and Alex only being around 2 or 3. And I think that she thought it was just one of the best gifts she could ever get from Jaleel. I think she loved the gift, and it really just made her happy, because even though she's in the burrow, I think that gift was so appropriate because it literally is photos are a part of time. So I thought that was really cute how Miraculous related the gift that he gave her as, a part of what she actually does. He doesn't know, I think, that she's Bunnix. So I really thought this was a really nice gift. This second gift that Alex has gotten related to time, because the first time she actually got the Miraculous, she didn't know it was a Miraculous, and her father gave it to her. It was the Bunnix Miraculous, And the second gift she got was a photo, which is still relating to time. So I really just thought that that was really beautiful. I thought that was so amazing how they did that. And they also gave us Alex's birthday again, which is pretty crazy because the last time around, you know, we kind of got Alex's birthday besides the London special. And then this time around again, we get Alex's birthday. I just love the fact that they celebrated Alex in a big way, considering the fact that she hasn't been in the show for the majority of the show right now. So I'm glad that we're finally acknowledging her. Also, I feel like this is foreshadowing that Alex is going to have to come back, because maybe this is where Lady Chaos comes in, where it's kind of going to be like the London special again, but in a different way. And yes, Ladybug and Cat Noir, they do what they do best. They defeat this monster. You know, he gets deakumatized. She gives Mr. D'Argencourt this charm that she gives everyone who's been akumatized so far, so that it can basically block akumatizations. One thing I wish that they would do in the show is show us, like in that other episode where their old principal, Mr. Damocles, when he had his charm from Ladybug and it actually shielded him from becoming akumatized. I feel like they should show like the charms shielding people and them not getting akumatized like as much. Like, I would love to see more of what the charms actually do. I feel like the show hasn't really showed us what they can do for people yet. We saw it in like one episode, so I would love to see more of like the charms protecting people from the akumatizations that Lila is going to be trying to give them. And Ladybug still lets Mr. D'Argencourt know that, yes, like, you see the history is still here. It's all a part of history, and makes him realize that it's not as bad as he's looking at it, and that it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and that he's kind of doing the most, just to sum it up. And yeah, so therefore he kind of looks at it in a different way. Hopefully he won't get akumatized again. And of course, you know, Ladybug and Cat Noir, they have to pound it. And it's just so fun. I love this episode. I love the animation, and I'm just so happy for Alex in this episode. Like, we haven't seen her in a long time. I love that she's made an appearance in the show. She's been gone. She's been missing for a while. We know why, but I would love to see Alex more in the show in the future. So I'm hoping that she does make a lot more future appearances, even though she's protecting the burrow. Like, it'd be nice for her to just show up every once in a while to like say, you know, like, what's up? How you guys doing? So I definitely loved this episode overall. So then we have Ladybug going back through the burrow, and she has to return the Marinette of the future back to her timeline. And we see future Marinette. She goes like inside of her room, you know, well, she's walking inside of her house through the burrow, and we have it where she's responding to Adrian's voicemail saying that she feels a lot better. The fact that she has to keep lying to him is actually pretty crazy, but that's what we're going with for this series for right now. And I just thought that it was so cool, you know, the way she just kind of goes back in there and she's about to try to go to sleep. And of course, it ends up looping back again, where she has to help that Ladybug of the past and has to go back from the future and come back to the present day. And she does it all over again. It's just crazy. I love how they kept up with the time loops in this episode. I love how they referenced like future her and like back her from the past. And I just thought that this was so fun. I thought it was a fun episode with time and the way they made it look. They're always flawless, I feel like, with the time thing. So this is kind of giving me like if the London special was in this animation. And honestly, I think it would have been awesome to see it in this animation, the newer one. This is kind of giving me hope for future Miraculous movies in the future, like when they have the Miraculous World movies. This is giving me future that the animation will definitely do more than okay for the Miraculous World movies. Also, before she returns home, Marinette is feeling really bad because she's like, Alex, I have you in the burrow and you have to stay in the burrow and it's unfair. And she's like, it's not fair that you have to keep staying in the burrow. You know, you should be able to be out with us. You know, you shouldn't have to be going through this. And she's like, you know what? Give me back your Bunny Miraculous. She actually asks for it back, you guys. She wants it back from her. And her response was so great. It was so Alex. And what she tells her is she's like, well, okay. She's like, if you want me to give my Miraculous back to you, give me your Miraculous. And she's like, my Miraculous? Like, I'm not doing that, basically. She's like, yeah, but I'm Ladybug. And she's like, and I'm Bunnix. Like, this is my life. I actually like what I'm doing and I wouldn't change it for the world. I love her response back to Ladybug where it wasn't like disrespectful because she is still the guardian, but it was letting her know that, okay, I like this. I like being Bunnix. Like, this is who I am. So I thought that reference was just so cool and so sweet. This little interaction between them. I thought that this was just amazing and just showing a great amount of respect as well as friendship. So yes, everything ended up fine in the end. They did have some bumps, but it ended up being okay. So I was glad about that. But then we have Lila in the end and she makes this little statement saying that she was not there, but I'll have to check again and again and again. And it is kind of strange because it's like, how would you know that Marinette wasn't there? Like, unless you know where she's at all times. So I feel like Aglaé is definitely keeping tabs on Marinette. Like, she's making sure to watch Marinette because she's working for Lila, which would be insane and crazy because it's like, where did Aglaé come from? Like, I kind of do need to know, where did Aglaé come from and why is she so concerned with Marinette as well? Like, what's her backstory? Kind of want to know a little bit more about her. But yes, in the end, it just ended up good, you know. I loved this episode so much. Like, I love the animation so much. I love how this episode just showcases Alex at her best. And she wouldn't trade being Bunnix for the world. Like, she wouldn't trade being in the burrows for the world. Like, she likes what she does and she doesn't have a problem with it. She likes that she gets to guard the Bunny Miraculous for the greater good. She knows what her assignment is. She's like, don't take that away from me. And I'm so happy for Bunnix that she's in her element and she loves it. Like, she doesn't feel like it's a chore or that it's something that she has to do. It's something that she wants to do. Maybe it's because she saw future Bunnix in the future and they had like this conversation, but still, the fact that she just knows, it's just amazing. I mean, no one else gets to meet their future self. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, you would be like fine with it if you got to meet your future self. And also, I think this episode proves that Marinette definitely should not be the keeper of the Bunny Miraculous. She cannot be trusted with the Miraculous of time. So it is very good that she entrusted Alex with this Miraculous because we see that she's kind of irresponsible with the Bunny Miraculous. But overall, she did pretty okay while Bunnix was out. She did great. She almost busted herself, but she redeemed herself in the end. So I think that that was really awesome and very cool. If I had to rate this episode, I would definitely rate this a 9 out of 10. A lot of people didn't like it for some reason, but I liked it very much. So yeah, it's definitely a 9 for me. It definitely slayed and I loved everything about it. But squad, let me know what you think and what you thought about this episode. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And always remember, MLB fam, have a miraculously awesome day.